In this video, I'm going to talk about convert to curves option here. So where do you get the convert to curves? Convert to curves is under arrange, convert to curves. Obviously, it's grayed out because we haven't selected an object. So what are the objects that can be converted to curves? So number one, text could be converted to curves. A shape, say for example, a rectangle can be converted to curves. And so basically it's shapes and it's also some text. Now you would ask, and if you would ask me, is convert to curves important in CorelDraw? I would say yes. So convert to curves makes a text into an object. So for example, here I've got the text here, convert to curves, right? And then let's say you have a situation wherein I'm just going to, let's just say this text or this font here is the one I downloaded from the web. And I'm going to save this CorelDraw file and then send it to somebody. Now, the convert to curves is handy in this situation. Why? Because what I'm going to do here, I'm going to just duplicate this one and I'm just going to bring it down. If you notice this one, you can still edit your text, right? Okay, you can edit your text. Okay, but once you convert to curves, you cannot edit your text anymore. So for example here, to convert it to this to curves, I'm going to go to arrange and click on convert to curves or control Q. Now you notice right away that the nodes became different already. So if I click on this one here, you would see that there are nodes per letter. And if I click on this one, which is already converted to curves, it has the nodes, but it's in different location already. And if I double click on this, I can't actually change the text anymore. Not like this one, I can change the text. Okay. Now, so you would ask me, now why did CorelDraw create that option for convert to curves? Okay. Like I said before, convert to curves changed the text to objects. So this one are objects now, right? So now I would suggest, say for example, you have a CorelDraw file that you're going to send to a printer. Save your file to another, So what you do is convert everything to curves first, especially the fonts that is, a special font that that the printer doesn't have. So convert everything to curves, and then save that as a different file name. So for example, your file name is, I'm just going to type in here, let's just say alex.cdr is your original file, right? And then you're going to send it to the printer. So what you do is, after converting it to curves, save it as, say, alex dot, or let me say underscore curves, and then save that as alex underscore curves.cdr. So why do we do this? We do this one so that, let's just say for example, you want to change the text in your artwork. Let's say your client says, okay, I want to change the text to this text. Okay, if you already converted it to curves, you cannot go back anymore. You cannot make it font again. You cannot. So that's what I'm saying. The main artwork, or the final artwork, let's say it's alex.cdr. Okay, and then after saving that, don't do convert to curves yet. And then say for example you're sending it to the printer, convert it to curves, and then save it as alex underscore curves.cdr. So now you have two files. So just in case you want to change the text, you can always go back to the original one, which is the alex.cdr. Okay, so now I'm going to delete that. And now let's talk about shapes. So for example, if I click on rectangular tool, okay, So that's my rectangular tool, and then I'm going to, the shortcut to make the rounded corners. You click on the shape and then click on like that, right? So that is how to make it curves. But if you notice this one, this is not converted to curves yet, right? So if I convert this to curves, I'm just going to duplicate this one so you can see the difference. So this one is not converted to curves yet, and this one is converted to curves. So I'm going to convert this to curves. So I click on that one, I go to arrange and click on convert to curves. Now you notice this one, it's not a curve yet. I can still edit the radius corners, right? Now I click on this one, it's the same object, but now see, I cannot change it anymore, right? I cannot change the radius corners because this one is already converted to curves. Now, I don't see this as a disadvantage because let's say your main objective is to make this, let's say, straight here. Say just these two straight. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my shape tool. I click on this one, and then I just click on that, and then click on that, right? So click on this and straighten it like that. Okay, you cannot do that if it's not a curve. So this one is still a rectangle. I can't do that. See, take a look here. I can't even select this curve here. Okay, so that's another advantage. The advantage is that you can actually change or modify the shape when it's a curve already. But with this one here, you cannot. Okay, now I'm going to delete that. So what else can we do with convert to curves? Okay, let's go back to my let's go back to text. Okay, so I've got this text here. Okay, and I'm going to duplicate that, and I'm going to make this as a curve. So I click on that and go to arrange and click on convert to curves. Okay, now let's say my objective is I want to make the X longer here. Okay, you cannot do that in CorelDraw. Okay, I know you can break artistic text and you can make this bigger like this, right? You can always do that. It's still a text. You can still change the text, right? Okay, but this one you cannot anymore because it's a curve. Okay, but what if my objective is just to change the X, just this part here and this part here? You cannot do that if it's not curves. But this one is already a curve. I can do that. So I can go to my shape tool or F10, and then I can drag this up like that and drag this down. Okay, so that's because I already converted it to curves. Okay, so now let's go to ellipse or circles. So I'm going to delete this. We already talked about that, and then let's create a circle. So you can do ellipse, or you can in creating a circle, okay, hold down your control key and then click and then drag, then you can create a perfect circle. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this too and move it to the right side. Okay, so this one I'm going to convert to curves. Arrange, convert to curves. And so what can I do when it's converted to curves already? So here's what I can do. I click on this. I can go to my shape tool, and then I'm just going to double click on this. When double clicking to a line here, it creates one more node. So I'll double click on that. Then I can reshape it, right? So let's say I'm going to create a pie. Just click on this line here and then there. Okay, so that didn't work because I have to make this a cusp node. So create a sharp angle in the curve by converting the node to a cusp node. Okay, and I'm going to make it as a cusp node too. I think I did that already. Okay, and then now I can make this straight. So click on this one and there. So now I can create a pie, right? And which I cannot do that here. Okay. So now with the circles, this is already converted to curves. Again, I can still shape. I can reshape this. So for example, this one I want to move it over here, and say here I want to move it there. Okay, it makes a boomerang, which you cannot actually do it in a regular circle. So there's no way to do it. I mean, you can make it taller, you can make it wider, but you cannot reshape it like this. Okay, another thing to, if you want to convert an object, let's just say for example you have an arrow. Okay, so you click on arrow shape and then click on the arrow there. So I've got, let's say I've got a red arrow. Okay, I know when you have an arrow, and if you go to your shape tool, you can actually reshape your arrow like that, right? But you still have limitations. That's the only thing you can change, right? You can change the arrowhead size, okay, or shape like that. I'm gonna duplicate this first, and then I'm going to convert this one to curves. So I click on arrange, convert to curves. Okay. Now let's say your objective is the arrow. If let's say you want to make this curved arrow here, like this. Okay. So this one is not a curve yet. This one is a curve. So I can do that with this one here. I just go to my shape tool, and I'm going to make this curve. Sorry, it's already. Is it already converted? Yes, it's already converted to curve. So I can go to my shape tool and click on this one, and then I can curve it like that, right? And I can also curve this like that. And I can move this down, and then I can actually reshape it the way I want it to be, like that. Okay. That's because it's already converted to curves. So maybe I can just double click on here and then make another one like that. Okay. So comparing to this one, which is not a curve yet, the only thing you can change is the shape of the arrowhead. Okay. Okay, now let's go to the basic shapes here. Let's just go to polygon here. So polygon, and I create a polygon like that. And then in here you can actually make the points or sides of the polygon. So I'm going to increase it to 10 like that. Okay. And I am going to go to my shape tool, and then I can reshape it. See? It's good, eh? Now what I'll do here, this one is not converted to curves. I'm going to duplicate it here. And then here in the right side, I'm going to convert it to curves. So I go to arrange, convert to curves. Okay, so what can you change here? You can change when you go to the shape tool, you can change the sharpness. You can also change the direction of the points of the star. Okay, but what if, let's say here, okay, sorry, that's already curves. So for example here, I'm gonna delete this one. I'm just gonna duplicate this one just to really show you the difference. Okay, so I'm gonna convert this to curves. So click on arrange and click on convert to curves. So let's say my objective here is that I'm gonna put this longer and this one longer. Okay, so you can't do that in the non-curve. This is not yet curved, so you click on shape tool. The only thing I can change, and it changes altogether the points. Okay, but since this one is already converted to curves, I can click on my shape tool, and then I can individually edit the nodes. For example here, there, and there. So now you have more flexibility. Okay, now let's go to the table tool. I click on the table tool. I'm going to create like a table like that, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate this one and put it in the right side. Okay, so this one is not a curve yet, and what I'll do here, I'll just convert this to curve. So I click on the table and click on arrange, convert to curves. So everything is converted to curves. So this one is not yet. So how can I edit? So what what features can I edit in the non-curved table. So if I go to my shape tool, what I can do, okay, so I can resize the rows and the columns, and basically that's the only thing I can change, right? Now compared to this one, this is already converted to curves, uh, but there's an advantage of this one to change the spacing, but here I cannot do that anymore. So if I click on and click on my shape tool, I cannot do that anymore. But what can you do in this converted to curves table already? So you can go to your shape tool. Sorry, what we'll do here is I'm going to ungroup all first. So ungroup all. Okay, sorry, I'm ungrouped. Then here I can actually edit the shape. So I can move it like that, and let's say here I can build like that, and this one, which I cannot do it here. Okay, so that's the advantage of convert to curves. Okay, so now let's talk about the blend tool. Why do we need to convert curves in the blend tool? So for example, I'm going to create two objects here that I'm going to blend. So I choose those two objects and I go to effects and then click on blend, which is already in here. So the first thing is asking for how many steps. So if I'm gonna blend these two, how many steps do I want? So I'm just going to say like 5 steps, and then just leave this there and click on apply. Okay, so it means to say I have 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets, sorry, 5 blended objects. Now my question is, why do we need to convert it to curves? So if I just straight go to my shape tool, it actually doesn't want you to do anything with this one. But if I click on arrange and click on convert to curves, now this is curves already, but I still have to ungroup it. So break, blend, group apart. So now it's already, and then I'm gonna ungroup it. So now I can go to my shape tool and always and I can change my shape. Okay, but before that we have to convert it to curves first. Okay, so I'm going to delete this one and let's go to the drop shadows. So if I have this object here and then I'm going to put some drop shadows, let's say like that, right? Now what if the drop shadows I want to, let's just say I want to eliminate this part of the drop shadow. Okay, so what you do is you go to arrange and break drop shadow group apart first, so that this will be separate. So it's already separated, and then I'm just going to put that inside, and let's just say for example I'm going to so I have to convert it to curves first. So curves, and then let's say I'm going to my shape tool, I can actually stylize it. Okay, so with this one you got low maintenance and then you're just here. Okay, so now you can do that, but with this one here you cannot do it. I mean, you cannot, you have to make convert the drop shadow to a curves first. So I think that's it. So people always think that the convert to curves is not useful, but for me it is very useful. Especially number one is when you're sending a file to the printer and you're not sure about if he or her CorelDraw computer does not have that font. So it's best to convert to curves and then send it to her, so that when you send it to her or him, his or her computer will not think of it as a font. It will just be an object, which sometimes is also good, so that you're sure that what you designed will really come out the way you want it to be, because the fonts are the same fonts. Okay, so that's it. Happy converting to curves.